So, Kel, tell me about this term life after life expert.
Yeah, well, what that refers to, Steve, life after life expert, is the idea that, first of all, my memories about having other lifetimes is pretty clear. But people sometimes wonder, well, what does that mean? How clear are they? And I tell them it's kind of like if you think about our memories in this lifetime, some of my memories are really clear, like the birth of my children, for example. Happened 20 years ago for one, 27 years ago for another one, but really clear. Other memories that I may try to access from 2 weeks ago, what did I eat for dinner? Not so clear. So it's similar to that with other lifetimes. We tend to remember some things really clear, some things not so clear. So it varies, but the clarity of my memories, I would say, about my other lifetimes is pretty parallel clarity, if you will, to my current lifetime, if that makes sense. And if we want to talk more about this kind of accessing memories from other lifetimes, really it can happen at any time. It could happen during meditation, after meditation, during rest period. It could happen when I'm taking a shower. Initially, it started happening when I was in a fairly relaxed state, resting, that kind of thing. Maybe about to take a nap, that kind of thing. And then later, as my mind got used to it more and more, it would happen even while I was in activity, uh, fairly relaxed activity still. But they would kind of just pop into my mind even while I was be walking around the house, let's say. Um, it's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle if you think about it. If you really want to think about how these things kind of pop into the mind. I've analogized this to kind of like a 30 million piece jigsaw puzzle. If you ever played a big jigsaw puzzle, you don't know what the thing's looking like if you don't look at the box cover. And maybe you get three pieces. Well, and they stick together. You don't know what the three pieces are making up. And it's kind of like that. And then maybe I may get another 10 pieces. And so now I got 13, 14, maybe 15 pieces together, 20 pieces. It's starting to look like something. And it kind of comes together like that, piecemeal, so to speak, over time.
Now, how do you distinguish when you talk about life after life
Mm.
experiences? How do you distinguish between a life prior and a creative imagination?
Yeah, good question. Good question. So first of all,
Incorporate my question.
to distinguish between, imagination, creative imagination, as you say, and an actual past life experience, there's a fine line sometimes, to be honest, candid. Except when I first had one of my initial past life memories, it was real, like not just a vision. So a lot of times you have a creative imagination, perhaps. A lot of people have perhaps a vision. It's a visual experience for them. But what started happening for me early on is it covered all my senses. So I had visual, smell, taste, emotional memory going along with the visual, touch, tactile. I could remember the feel of things, what they felt like. I could remember the weight of objects that I was holding. So even then, somebody could say, hey, maybe like really good creative imagination. Sure, you could say that. But when I first started having the experience of these past life memories, I'll tell you about one. So I was lying there resting after my meditation, just innocently just lying there resting, not looking for anything, letting my mind drift and wander like I do when I'm resting after my meditation. I wasn't asleep. I wasn't dreaming. I was sort of awake, but in this kind of very relaxed, wakeful state, not meditating. And what happened was I started seeing myself, like a lot of people have had this experience, and I know you've had this experience, Steve, where you're in a dream, you're kind of seeing what's going on in the dream. but you can't see yourself. You can see what's going on in the dream. So you're kind of looking through your own eyes, but you can't see what you look like in the dream. Well, I was having that kind of experience just lying there, except I wasn't dreaming. I was just lying there with my eyes closed. And what happened was I walked into a room, and it was a stone room, a big stone room, like big stones, 2 foot by 3 foot stone blocks, making up the floor, the walls, the ceiling, 40, 50 foot high ceiling. And there was empty room, no furniture in it except for a full-length mirror in the middle of the room. No people. And I walked into the room, and I walked towards the mirror, and I saw myself for the first time I'd ever seen myself in a dream or in any experience whatsoever. But what distinguished this experience, in terms of your question, for me anyway, from a creative imagination type of experience, is I looked at the mirror, saw myself, knew it was me, and immediately after that, some doubt went through me, like I wasn't sure. But a split second after that, this jolt of energy went through my body, went up through my feet, went through my body, shot out through my head. It was as if you stuck a fork in a toaster oven or a knife in a toaster oven to get a piece of toast out. You get a little shock there, you get a little buzz, except multiply that by like 500. So it was like really strong jolt went through me. At the same time, it was knowingness, just knowing that that was me. Now, what do I mean by knowingness? It's like, how do I know I'm sitting here with you in your living room having this conversation? I just know I am. I mean, I don't have to take a poll of people. Am I sitting in Steve's living room having a chat with him? No, I just know that. That experience of knowingness shot through me. So it was a different experience when I just have creative imagination type thoughts, which we all do. I have them still. It's a very different experience.